Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Lorville. Now today I'm going to do another performance test video. Now obviously it's well known that performance at Lorville isn't as good as some of the other areas of the game. Well, what we have of the game so far. I've had better performance at Lorville than what I had when I last visited Levski, but it'll be interesting to compare the performance we get in this video to subsequent videos with future versions of Star Citizen going forward. Now first of all, I should highlight the top left of the screen. If you have a look there, there's the information from MSI Afterburner of the frame rate we're getting at the moment as we're in the habitation hub area of Lorville. Now my system is a 5930K at around 4.2 gigahertz, a 1080 Ti, 32 gigs of RAM, and I'm running Star Citizen off an Intel Octane drive, so a fairly high-end system, although the CPU is around 3 years old. Now resolution, I'm running at 2560 by 1440 on a Acer Predator G-Sync monitor, so a pretty high-end system which can certainly handle the game at the moment. Now of course frame rates can also be server dependent. At the moment there's a lot of optimizations which will be done in the future on the server side to improve performance, and obviously a lot more will be added to Lorville. With 3.4 I believe they're aiming to have the business district open up, so there'll be more of an explorable area to Lorville than what there is now. But it is a process going forward of evolution in Star Citizen, and we're going to see some big changes in the year or years ahead of development in the game. Now we've dropped down to anywhere between 30 and 40 FPS as we've exited the habitation hub area. Now of course as we look at the impressive backdrop there, we are of course aiming hopefully to have a more explorable areas. Obviously the business district is going to be the first one, but obviously a lot of what we do see is just backdrops for the moment, but this is the first version of Lorville and we will see changes going forward. Now one of the most important factors which will also influence performance going forward is AI and the introduction of AI NPCs which are actually doing their full subsumption duties. That means they've actually got a form of artificial intelligence. They're not just wandering around aimlessly like they are now. Now of course this is tremendously important to the game going forward, as in the future we should be able to have AI crews who will follow our orders, and there'll also be AI performing missions in the game and reacting to the player during those missions. Now of course this is also carries forward to the single player game Squadron 42, which will of course share all these AI subsumption systems. So obviously for Squadron 42 to actually be out as a game, the AI systems have to be functioning properly. Now I see this as a challenge going forward for Star Citizen, but something which I'm sure will be overcome over the next year or so. Now there has been a patch today on the PTU 3.37. Now this patch focuses on AI behaviour. Now it's a small step at the moment. They're actually focusing on some of the AI ship NPC behaviours, and also the AI at the security post carrier, I should say, call that the SPK for short. And there the AI should be actually patrolling and not just standing still waiting to be a bullet sponged for the players. Now I've actually tried to get some footage there today, and I did see actually some advancement in the behaviour of the NPC AIs where they were patrolling and actually reacted to me actually opening fire on them, and basically they killed me. Now unfortunately it was difficult getting footage because when I actually returned I did run into the same old problem you do at SPK. That is, other players were actually wandering around there, and of course they decided just to kill me and not actually do what the PTU should be doing, and that's actually just testing the reaction of the AI. But that's the game at the moment, and I'm afraid it is what it is. And in my opinion, a great test bed for NPC AI behaviour would be having bots in Star Marine. Now obviously it wouldn't be the same network infrastructure as the PU, but I think it would be interesting and actually get probably more players into playing Star Marine if they tested some of the AI behaviours there. Just my thought on that. So a question has to be asked about the performance impact of fully aware AI at Lorville. Well, of course, a lot of work is going to be done in the future on introducing server-side systems to increase performance in these well-built-up areas. Now, of course, we've got the visuals. There's no question that you can spend hours and hours, like I do in the game, just looking at the visuals, taking screenshots, and just looking in amazement at the fidelity of the graphics. But of course, as I said earlier, the next step has to be the introduction of living and intelligent NPC AIs, and I believe that is what we will see over the next year or so coming into the game. And of course we should see it first in Squadron 42. So performance at the moment is a little bit up and down at Lorville. One of the things I have noticed is that there possibly is still a little bit of a memory leak. I've gone up to actually 14 gigs of RAM usage, which is pretty high when a lot of people only have 16 gigs of RAM in their system. So obviously probably still something to look at there. But of course Star Citizen is always going to be a game which will operate best if you have got the highest system spec possible but of course it should still be playable for those with lower spec systems. Still a lot of work to be done, but at the moment things are still looking promising, and I'm looking forward to what the year ahead will bring in the game.